Hello again, and welcome to a McPeak into my world. This is actually take 2 of this episode because my previous one was too long and was rejected by YouTube. So I'm going to try to make this really quick and into my normal less than 5-minute mode, which is going to be really hard to do. First of all, what I wanted to share this week is that I did a 6-mile run for preparation for the marathon training. I didn't practice with the team, unfortunately, but I was worried about bad weather and driving to Riverside, which isn't that far, but so yeah, I was wimpy this week. But I still did do the 6 miles, and it was hard. It was the longest distance that I've run since I ran the half marathon in November. So it was hard, but I finished the run, got some good stretching in, but that will explain why my hair looks the way that it does and the reason I'm wearing no makeup. So my goal for today was to have a shower, get some produce at the store, and then just kind of sit here and do nothing for the rest of the day, which is what I intend to do. But I was watching my recorded last night version of the Independent Spirit Awards and was reminded that the Academy Awards are tomorrow night at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. The Oscars are my favorite award show and the award show that I look forward to the most every year, and also the one that I tend to get the most pretentious and opinionated about. So with this episode, I just wanted to share briefly some thoughts on who I believe will win at the Academy Awards tomorrow night. But before I start, I just want to say that I'm really excited at the premise of Steve Martin and Alec Baldwin hosting this year's show. I thought that Steve Martin's previous attempts were successful, but then again, nobody is Billy Crystal. He's the best Oscar host ever. But having seen Steve Martin and Alec Baldwin together in It's Complicated, I think that the chemistry there is going to be great, and their comic timing is going to be really fantastic. So look forward to that. Okay, thought number 1 is on the Best Actor race, and the nominees are Jeff Bridges, Colin Firth. Oh God, I have to cheat now. Jeff Bridges, Colin Firth, George Clooney, Morgan Freeman, and Jeremy Renner. Now, in any other year, I would be voting for Jeremy Renner for this award because I think that he did put the most passion and guts into his performance, and I've been a real big fan of his since the Jeffrey Dahmer movie came out. But Jeff Bridges is one of my favorite performers of all time. He's extremely underrated. It's a shame that he's never won an Academy Award before, and tomorrow night he will win for his performance in Crazy Heart. My favorite performance of the year, hands down. So go Jeff Bridges, this one's yours, man. Okay, performance by an actor in supporting role: Matt Damon, Woody Harrelson, Christopher Plummer, and Stanley Tucci. And Christoph Waltz. Oops. It seems to me like Christoph Waltz is going to get this, and that's fine because he was great, but his acceptance speech is going to be really boring because he's just really not a very colorful person in real life, kind of like Robert De Niro. But if there were to be an upset in this category, I think it would go to Christopher Plummer, who's never been nominated for an Academy Award ever, and is in the autumn of his days as an actor. So it's quite possible there will be an upset with Christopher Plummer, but I am picking Christoph Waltz for Inglourious Basterds. For performance by an actress in a leading role, we have Sandra Bullock, Helen Mirren, Carey Mulligan, Gabri Sidibe, and Meryl Streep. Traditional wisdom gives this to Sandra Bullock in the same vein that Julie Roberts won for Erin Brockovich back in 2000. If there were to be an upset in this category, I think it would be Meryl Streep, who's the most nominated performer of all time and hasn't won an Oscar since she won for Sophie's Choice in 1983. So while Sandra Bullock seems poised to win this with her really brave turn in The Blind Side, and her acceptance speech is sure to be very humble and very beautiful, and lots of reaction shots from her husband, Jesse James, which will make my husband happy because they're both bikers. But look out for Meryl Streep because it's been a very long, dry season for her. Even though she seems to be nominated every year, she hasn't won in a long time. Performance by an actress in a supporting role, and I've actually seen all 5 of these performances: Penelope Cruz, Vera Farmiga, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Anna Kendrick, and Monique. Monique has won every single award in this category: the Golden Globe, the SAG, and over 25 critics' prizes. So it seems like she's a sure thing, but I remember hearing that about Lauren Bacall for The Mirror Had Two Faces, and then out of nowhere comes Juliette Binoche winning for The English Patient. So there's just something in my gut that's telling me that this year's Juliette Binoche could be Maggie Gyllenhaal. She kind of snuck in there at the last minute, having not been recognized by the Globes or the Screen Actors Guild But her performance in Crazy Heart, I agree with Entertainment Weekly, it's really the emotional core of that film. So, not to be discounted, Maggie Gyllenhaal in her first Academy Award nomination, but it seems like Monique is a sure thing for tomorrow night's Academy Awards. And then quickly, I want to talk about Best Director. I'm not going to read off the nominees because what would be the point? This is a two-person race between James Cameron for Avatar and Catherine Bigelow for The Hurt Locker. And Catherine Bigelow recently became the first woman to win the Directors Guild Award for directing, and so totally pushing for her to get this. She's only the fourth nominated woman as Best Director for the Academy Awards, and a woman's never won an Oscar before. So I really do feel like her movie was classically directed. While there were lots of special effects and lots of technical help, not nearly to the extent that Avatar was for James Cameron, and frankly, he already has an Oscar, and I'm really tired of him. So totally pulling for Catherine Bigelow in this category. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the original song category, since it tends to be the one that makes me the angriest. This year, we have 2 songs nominated from The Princess and the Frog, and both written by Randy Newman. We have a song from a French film that I've positively never heard of before. And then we have a new song from the movie Nine. In order for the movie musical songs to be considered for an Academy Award, they have to write something new that didn't appear in the original play. And I think that this song was either an end credit song or sort of a little, let's tuck this in a side scene song, because I don't remember it from the film and I don't remember who performed it. And then the final nominated song is The Weary Kind from Crazy Heart, which is my pick for this year. And for me, the only song that deserves a shot at Best Original Song. For me, it's important that the original song completely mirror what's going on in the movie. To the extent that Eminem deserved to win for 8 Mile, the whole movie is about him finding his voice as a rapper and preparing that song that he performs at the end of the show, Lose Yourself. And so that, to me, is what an original song is all about. It's a song that reflects what's going on in the film, what the characters are going through, what the plot of the movie is all about. And The Weary Kind is the song that Jeff Bridges is writing when he's coming to terms with the fact that he needs to be sober, and that he needs to change his life. And Maggie Gyllenhaal's character was the person that brought him to that place where he could write that song. So for me, it's the most deserving nominee and the one that I think will win. And I do hope that they're going to let Jeff Bridges perform it tomorrow night, because he's proven through this film that he's actually a very gifted singer as well. So that's really exciting. And then, finally, for Best Picture, this whole 10 movie thing, I think it's a little gratuitous. It was supposed to make room for big budget films, like, for example, last year, Batman: The Dark Knight, to have an opportunity to be nominated in this category. But this year, I think it just allowed some of the smaller films to get back in. I don't think A Serious Man, or District 9 for that matter, would have been nominated in other years. And Disney's Up probably would not be nominated either. The 5 films I thought would have made the cut this year and that have the best chances of winning are Avatar, The Hurt Locker, Inglourious Basterds, Precious, and then what was the other one? Sorry, I have to look at my little cheat list here. Oh, and Up in the Air. Sorry, that would be the other movie that I think would have a serious shot this year. And I'm so over Avatar, really. It was fun to watch and beautiful to look at, but it's a recycled plot, nothing very original, and you can't really say that there's real acting going on in that film. The Hurt Locker is my pick for this year's Best Picture, because I found the movie to be just emotionally compelling, and not so much an anti-war film, but a film about addiction, and why certain people are drawn to war and to be a part of that world. So Jeremy Renner's amazing, and then you also have Anthony Mackie and Guy Pearce doing really, really good work in this film, and Brian Garrity as well, who most people have not heard of, but if you haven't heard of him yet, someday you will. So getting close to the 10-minute mark, so I got to stop. So thank you for watching this week's episode of A McPeak Into My World. Back to real stuff, the 10 things for 2010 next year. Okay, see you later. Bye.